Welcome, Blood Bowl fans, to Blood Bowl from a Car. I am your humble host, Heretic U. Welcome to the #1 show on YouTube about Blood Bowl in a car. Today we got a returning segment. Maybe some of you guys remembered this idea, but I always wanted to do kind of like a Coach's Corner, which is the name of this segment. All right, today's Coach's Corner is brought to you by Green Nation Army, who told me I could do anything I want. Thanks for the shout out. And also Finlay Robinson, who thanks for just commenting. I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate the love, the support. So let's just jump right into it. Chainsaws, man. If there's one thing that GW love to do is put skulls on crap and give people chainsaws. Blood Bowl's no different. You can get a chainsaw. You can get it a couple of ways. Right now, under the current rules, you can play goblins like I do and get a chainsaw. You can also, certain star players will have chainsaws. What's so great about chainsaw? Well, when it comes to using a chainsaw in Blood Bowl, you don't roll a block. You do this action instead of a block or a blitz. And basically, it is, you roll straight on armor, +3, and then you add +3 to the dice roll. So if you think about it, you are taking, say, like, your big guy on the opposing team is probably going to have armor 10. He's probably going to be strength 5, even strength 6. But you could have a strength 2 goblin take him down with no help whatsoever with a chainsaw. You just got to roll 7+7+. That's so slightly better than average, and you are at least proning a big dude. And for like weak armored, like squirrely guys that are going to score touchdowns pretty fast, like that wood elf that just squeezes through your tackle zones like nothing. Put a chainsaw on him. And, you know, that little weak armored weasel with, like, block and dodge. And I got all this skills. You can't take me down. Well, guess what? I got to roll like a 5. And you are prone, son. You are prone. So that's what's really cool about chainsaw. Now, the rules to chainsaws are pretty easy, okay? So, first you got to see if the chainsaw doesn't kick back and hit you in the face. That's a 2+ roll, okay? So 2 or better, chainsaw goes off. Then you just roll 2d6 and add 3 to that roll and compare it to the armor value of your target. If you hit the armor value, if it's like a 10+ and you need a 7+, so let's say you roll a 7, that guy's automatically prone. Now you you do have to roll an injury roll after that, so you could possibly KO, injure, or kill a person with a chainsaw. So that makes chainsaws pretty freaking deadly. But there's a downside to chainsaws, and this is why a lot of people who use chainsaws for the first time will have an experience like, yeah, I got this chainsaw. Got a motherfucking chainsaw. What? And then they get blocked. And then they fall on their own chainsaw, and then their guy's toast. And that's simply because the chainsaw rule applies both ways. So, last video I mentioned it is a double-edged sword, and that's the reason why it's a double-edged sword. It's because, yeah, if you get blocked and knocked down, you're falling on that chainsword, and you're adding +3 to that armor. Now, if you're a goblin, yeah, that's pretty bad. So there are a couple of things you want to do if you're going to use a chainsaw. And you kind of have to always be aware of the positioning of where that chainsaw is. So we're going to do a couple examples. Let's just say, okay, live demo time. So in this case, we are playing this goblin team. All right. Now, normally the goblin team would have 2 trolls. Long story short, I lent out the trolls for this team to another coach. So we're just going to have to do with 1 troll for this example. It should work just fine for what we're doing. Okay, so humans are kicking off to us, and what they did was they made a mistake by putting that ogre on the line. I would suggest not doing that, but people do that all the time. So this scenario is pretty realistic, okay? Now let's assume that we've done our safe moves. We've kind of secured the ball. Let's pretend the ball landed right there. That's fine. And now we're going to activate our chainsaw, which is number 4. And if you look at him, his guitar has a chainsaw on the bottom. So he's the guy who uses my chainsaw. So what we're going to do is set up some 2-die blocks. This guy's going to move 1, 2. He's going to go over there. And this guy's going to go 1, 2. And he's going to set up that 2-die block. Now the first block that we're going to roll is the chainsaw, because we're assuming we have rerolls on this team. And if we fail the chainsaw test, we want to use that reroll for that reason. Okay, so we roll the chainsaw test. It's fine. We declare a chainsaw attack on the ogre in the middle. And we crack his armor because of the +3. And, injure him. So that's probably the best start we could probably ask for. Ogre's out of the game. And, now the troll is free to even blitz. We can use our troll to blitz someone down. And we have 2-die blocks on this lineman and that lineman. Pretty amazing start. Now let's assume that chainsaw attack did not work. Well, so if the chainsaw attack fails, that player remains standing. He doesn't get pushed back or anything like that. So we have to protect the chainsaw. Right now, he's in danger of being hit by the ogre and this lineman on that turn. So, assuming that he failed, we're going to start with number 7. Why is he turned around? I don't know, but he was. So we activate him and we turn him around. Yes, in case you didn't know, I had to try this a couple of times because live demos, right? Anyways, he's going to get, he's strength 2 versus strength 3, but he's got 2 assists on the side. And look at that. We get a little pow. He goes down. Let's roll armor for fun stuff. Okay. Okay, cool. Doesn't break armor. He would have followed up, though. All right. So now our chainsaw guy is not only helping with the very stupid roll, because he's right next to the troll, giving him a bonus. He's also now providing an assist on that block. So we're going to go back to that block in a second. We'll move on to number 8, who's going to throw... He's going to throw a block on this lineman here. And he gets a push. He pushes him out of the way. Follows up. Okay. Etc. etc. Now we want the troll. So we get 2 shots on that ogre. The troll's going to roll his very stupid roll. Passes. And then he's got a 2-die block because of the assist over here. Which we get a push. So we push him back. Okay. And you want to follow up. So what have we done by doing this? Is what we've actually protected that chainsaw from being hit. Actually, he should be turned around because he activated. If we look at the board, it's going to be very hard to get to that chainsaw. We still have a couple of activations left. We can even move, say, this guy over here and provide almost like a cage support in case these guys swing around and try to get that chainsaw. We could probably do the same with number 11. You can come in, boop, boop, and now we've got the chainsaw protected. And that's kind of how you want to think. So if the chainsaw fails, you want to make sure that the chainsaw isn't adjacent to any enemy players, because they will punch him in the face. So at least in this case, it's going to be very hard to get to him. We've got him protected, and now he'd be ready for a chainsaw blitz on the next turn. Okay, so let's talk about chainsaw on the blitz. Okay, so let's say we've got this human catcher dangerously close to our end zone. So we need to stop him, and so we're going to declare a chainsaw blitz. Now, with a chainsaw blitz, you pretty much want to blitz a character that's already marked. So in this example, this goblin has not activated. Number 15 has not activated and is currently marking this catcher. Okay. So what we're going to do on our turn is move this guy in for an assist. And now we're going to declare blitz with the chainsaw. The chainsaw is just going to go maybe this angle. Let's say he's here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 6 for the blitz. Okay. So there he goes. Chainsaw test. Chainsaw test passed. Okay. So human catcher, I believe his armor is pretty low, but not that low. So that's another good example. So that failed. Always try to plan for the fail. This is why you want whatever target you're going to use your chainsaw blitz on, that target already has to be marked, and marked by a player who hasn't activated, because if this is a failed action, what you now have to do to make sure that your chainsaw is okay is now activate this guy and declare a 2-die block, right? Because now he has the chainsaw for the assist, and he's got that guy. So 2-die block, and look at that, we actually get him. Bam. We'd go down here, you know, full armor. Oh, he would have popped his armor. Look at that. So, yeah, even though chainsaw's a deadly weapon, think of it as a weapon that's got maybe like a 50% success rate. Okay? So we saw on a live catcher, it didn't work as well. And then that's, you know, that's the danger of that. Okay, in this scenario, we are kicking off to them, and this is just how you might want to position your chainsaw to be protected. You can see that he's surrounded by plenty of tackle zones. He's off the line of scrimmage, so they would have to risk a blitz to get to him, and you know, it's just not a very easy task to get to the chainsaw. That troll is probably a juicier target. I don't know if you'd want to try and blitz down the troll turn 1 of your drive, but whatever. Point being is that you always have to be aware of your chainsaw. The chainsaw's in a pretty good position that on the goblin's turn, he can react and probably pull off a chainsaw blitz. So that's, you know, your basics of chainsaw. Because the other thing about chainsaws are their secret weapon. And what the secret weapon rule means is that, you know, at the end of a drive or at the end of the half, you know, he's getting kicked out of the game for fouling. You can argue the call and try to keep him in, but that, you know, that's, what is that, a 1 in 6 shot. If you have any inducements, I suggest, if you're using a chainsaw, try, if you can afford it, try and have a bribe, so that will help you keep them on the pitch as long as possible. So basically, you have this badass with a chainsaw. You want to get the biggest bang for your buck for him, And so things like bribes and things like not getting them hit is key. Don't get hit. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, push any guys away from him so he doesn't get hit. Rule number 3, you basically want to have bribes or argue the call. Try and keep that chainsaw on the board as long as possible. And if you're playing in a league, the chainsaw is really hard to skill up because he's got no hands, right? So you got a guy with a chainsaw, he's not scoring touchdowns. He's not throwing the ball, so you can't get completions, and the chainsaw attacks don't count as casualties. Even if it causes a casualty, you will not get the star player points for that casualty. So really the only way you're going to get and he can't intercept. Of course, he has no hands. So the only way you're going to get any star player points is through MVP. And if you look at his skill set, his primary or strength, and there's not a lot of skills that go well with chainsaw. In fact, I would say, get guard, because he's going to be assisting a lot, and that'll make him even more valuable as a player. But just think about, this guy on your team, especially if you're playing goblins, most likely is going to die, so you're going to have to replace him. So I don't know if it's even a wise idea to invest or try to get star player points for this guy. But if you happen to skill him up, guard would be a really good skill to have. Now, if you get even more star player points, then save up for the general skill. I say block would make him really good. Make him more durable, because in case he does get hit, it's going to be a very hard strength 2 guy to knock down. Anyways, that's about all I have to say about the chainsaw for now. Thanks again for watching, supporting the channel. Hit like, subscribe, blah blah blah, comment. I will feature everyone's comment from now on as they comment through the in the following video. So we're trying to rebuild this thing and make it the best Blood Bowl channel ever. See you on the next one.